Okay, so Ron Barber apparently sat down with Martha McSally to talk to the local newspaper's editorial board and went full racist. Full racist. The quote is this. The biggest difference between the two, well, here's what it says. The biggest difference between the two parties is that the Democratic Party is one of the common man and woman, while the Republican Party is one of big business and corporations. Oh, okay. Again, nothing about Obama and his fundraisers in Silicon Valley, on Wall Street, 40 G's a plate at Beyonce and Jay-Z's establishment. Anyway, he then said the Democratic side of the House is a rainbow of colors and ethnicities and religious beliefs. Quite frankly, on the other side, it's essentially a bunch of white guys.
Oh, shit, here we go.
Yeah.
It's on.
Uh-huh.
Race war.
And then he said Republicans are typically the big money people in the country. And again, nothing about John Kerry parking his yacht in Rhode Island because it was less tax to pay than in Massachusetts. It's all good. Nancy Pelosi's worth a lot of money also. But hey, let's stereotype. Let's be racist. Not exactly the most civil thing to do, is it? And sitting right next to him, again, like I said, was Martha McSally. I want to know what happened in that room. So Martha is joining us. She's opposing Ron Barber in the race for CD2. Martha, how are you?
I'm great, Garrett. How are you?
All right, so let me ask you this. Was it a loud sound like this? Like a thud? Was that your jaw when it hit the floor when he said that?
Well, it was an editorial board interview. It wasn't a debate, and so we weren't really having kind of back and forth. But as he was answering the question, I was just sitting there in disbelief next to him. Like, how is he possibly saying this? As I'm the Republican, nominee next to him as a retired military officer and a woman. So I couldn't help myself. When he finished speaking, I just draw attention. I was like, excuse me, can I just make a point here, Ron? I mean, I'm your Republican nominee, and I'm a woman and retired military officer, so this is not helpful. And he just looked over and said, I wasn't talking about you, I was talking about Congress. And I came right back saying, well, I'm going to be there soon. Mm-hmm. So, I was very shocked and surprised that, I mean, it's obviously not helpful for the dialogue. It's not true. It's not accurate, and
it's not
certainly
civilized.
Not civil.
Yeah,
but most ironic, given who was sitting right next to him as his Republican opponent.
Yeah, I mean, he should have paid like his own fine. He'd be like, you know what, crap, I just did that. Let me take out a 20 and stick it in the jar for the civility fund people. Okay,
right.
Again, let's just recap. The old white guy that says the problem with the Republican Party is that it's the old white guys said this in the same room where the Republican nominee is a younger woman. So that's fantastic. So what was the reaction from the people on the Arizona Daily Star editorial board? I mean, were they like shocked or like, oh, no, just no reaction because they agreed with it?
Well, no, I mean, I don't think they agreed with it, and it wasn't their place at that point, I think, to be debating. But I was actually quite pleased that they reported on it because within the room, obviously, I didn't have any other staff, and we had no means to, to be able to report as we walked out of the room. And so I'm glad that they reported on it. But yeah, it was very surprising.
So was there any kind of, I guess, walk back motion, any kind of regret? Did Ron Barber's body language change after you were like, wait, what? Did he realize, do you think, that he said something that was pretty racist and pretty stupid?
My perception is that, again, he didn't even, when I challenged him on it, he seriously meant, like, no, I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about Congress. And so he was just sort of dismissing my comment.
Yeah, it's the other white guys that I have a problem with. Yeah. I mean, Are you kidding me? Man, if you would have sat there and said, and you never said this, and this is just to prove a point, or let's just say, and I've been talking about it all morning, but if I were to say, the problem with the Democrat Party, you have too many poor black people and too many poor Hispanics. If I would have said that, I'd be fired. If you would have said that, you'd be grilled. But why is it okay for Ron Barber to play the race card and not get any throwback whatsoever?
Mm.
I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. And again, we're hoping to get some more, national media attention from this because it is, I think, symbolic of some of the dialogue that is going on out there around the nation. And So Mr. Barber just was the one who said it, and it just definitely needs to be addressed and talked about, not just for this race, but at the larger level.
And, he went, and we had Martha McSally on KNST AM 790 and now 97.1 FM, and she is running against Ron Barber. She's the Republican nominee for CD2. He even went a step further and said the Republican Party is the party for the rich, right, and corporations. Did he say something like that? That's what's reported. Yeah,
what they reported was big money is what he said. There's big money behind the candidates. And again, I was thinking, if you looked at our last FEC report, it'd be maybe exactly the opposite when it comes even to this race. So that was, and here I am, a retired military officer. It's my job and the debt every month to stand up and serve the people of Southern Arizona. So it made no sense whatsoever. But this is kind of a typical, what we see coming out of their campaign is sort of the typical talking points on a national level that he's using, and it just doesn't apply here, and it doesn't apply to me. So it just didn't work.
No, it doesn't. And again, the guy that is in charge of the Civility Fund that thought of this whole stupid thing where it basically censors free speech is trying to be divisive, and he's using race and wealth. He's playing class warfare, race and class warfare to divide people.
Well, and I think, the most disappointing thing is that Mr. Barber went to Washington, D.C. as a caretaker of Gabby Gifford's seat, as her former staffer to serve out her term. And in such a short period of time, he's become a politician. He's become one of them. He's using the same divisive name-calling tactics that everybody is tired of in Washington, D.C. right now, and it happened so quickly.
What's insane is that you're totally right. This should be a national story. This should be the guy that is telling people that we shouldn't bully anybody else was an absolute bully in front of you. And I just want to know what happened inside the room. There was no reaction at all, really, from the people that were there for the editorial board from the local paper?
Well, honestly, I was more focused on how I was reacting, and so, they didn't verbally come back and ask him any follow-ups as far as I can remember. Of course, I don't have the tapes, but I just remember thinking, is he really saying this? And then I was just trying to get my response, and so I gave my response, and then we moved on to the next thing. He definitely wasn't, he did not backpedal from it at all, and we moved on to the next question. So, but again, I'm glad that the Arizona Star chose to report on it. We were there for over an hour, and that was certainly one of the more remarkable moments there. And so I am glad that they reported on it, so it would have got, it actually got out there, because I had no record of it, staff with me, so we were really unable to do that.
Do you think that the local paper would release the tapes to you for the audio?
Possibly. I haven't asked them yet, but we certainly could.
That's got to be your campaign ad right there, Martha. That's it. Dividing the country. That's what it is.
Well, and I'm looking forward to seeing what their decision is, and I really hope they give me a good consideration for an endorsement.
Oh, let's. Okay. Hang on. You're not high right now, are you?
No,
I just want to make sure.
I'm hopeful, realistic, but also hopeful.
You know what? You're stepping right into this whole politician aspect of things. You're saying all the nice things, but let's be honest. They are lapdogs for him, so it is what it is. I'm just curious though, and again, we have Martha McSally on KNST AM 790 and now 97.1 FM. Your polling, is there any internal polling that you're doing? Is it showing that you have a chance here? Is it show what? Have you done polling, and what does it show?
Absolutely, Garrett. We did a poll on August 7th and 8th, and we released the results a few weeks ago that showed that I was within 5 points of Ron Barber. Keep in mind that I had been off the net, off of the TV and radio and in people's mailbox since April 17th. And so we hadn't really even gotten back out there. We were in fundraising mode and getting going. So here he is, the newest congressman with very high name ID, and I was very closely within the margin of error back in early August. As I'm sure you've seen, we're up on television now, and we're getting out there and getting our message out there. And so we're going to move this needle and show that we've got the path to victory. The momentum is all ours.
Yeah, maybe I'm just biased, but I'd like to hear you on radio instead of the TV where people have DVR and fast forward through those commercials. I'm just saying that, Martha.
Yeah, got it, Garrett.
Yeah, just throwing that out there. So, yeah. What, is that? No, come on. We're all capitalists here. And I wouldn't make money. It's just, But anyway, all right. So, look, things hopefully are going good for you.
So they really are. They really are.
And how did the rest of the discussion go in there? It was pretty much they just sat there, asked you a question, asked him a question, and just wrote down what you guys said?
Yeah, there was, again, several questions from different members of the board, and not really any time limit. So it wasn't really like a debate. So it was more of a discussion and talking about the issues that are impacting our community. They're going to be making their decision the next few weeks. So it was a good dialogue, and I think objectively, I think I do have a chance. So I'm really, looking forward now, and I'll do the same thing with the Arizona Republic next week. And like I mentioned, the momentum is all ours. I mean, we have a path to victory. Mr. Barber is a staffer who is serving out Gabby Gifford's term, and that's what the people of Southern Arizona decided. But November is about the future. It's about who should represent us in the future, who's got the right record, the right leadership, the right moral courage to stand up, do the right thing, and fight for us and get results. And it's a clear choice between the two of us from a profile point of view. And certainly from a message point of view, he keeps voting with Rahul Grijalva, and people are not interested in the Grijalva-Barber voting bloc for Southern Arizona.
Really quick before I ask my last one, if you get in there and the vote comes up to repeal Obamacare, are you voting to repeal Obamacare?
Absolutely. I'm voting to repeal it, and then we need to also replace it with thoughtful solutions to bring the cost of health care down and make it affordable and available.
One thing that I saw, and this is the last one, this is from that story in the local paper, Ron Barber's quoted as saying, "That's the biggest issue for independents. Why are you always bickering? I think the polarization has come about because we have ideological polarity." And he said that, I can't imagine it was too far after he said, "Problem with the Republican Party is a bunch of white guys." I mean, how is it possible you kept a straight face when you're like, wait, you just said the problem is white guys, you're dividing, you're bickering, you're name-calling, and now you say the problem is people are bickering?
Well, that's exactly it. And as you mentioned, in a very short period of time, he's come to Washington, D.C., and he's now part of the problem. He's part of the bickering. He's part of the name-calling. He's part of the reason why people are frustrated with Washington, D.C. So, let's stop with the rhetoric, and let's, actually roll up our sleeves and get some results and get things done for the complex issues facing our country right now, which need people who cut leadership and moral courage and going to try and do the right thing. We don't need these kind of talking points and divisive stuff that's coming right out of them in such a short period of time.
Okay. Hey, Martha, good luck. Hopefully this will gain some national attention because this should hurt him, and the fact that he has not even apologized. And when did this interview take place? How many days ago?
It was, every day merges to with each other. I think it was on Tuesday, I want to say. It was Monday or Tuesday. I'm losing track in my mind. But,
wow. All week long, and he hasn't walked back the fact that he said that racist thing about white people. Okay. That sounds working out well. Martha, we'll talk to you as it progresses. Good luck, and thanks for sharing the time.
Okay, thanks, Garrett. Talk to you soon.
You got it. All right, it's Martha McSally taking on Ron Barber in CD2. Again, he's a white guy, and he said the problem is white guys.
What if she would have said, I agree, that's why you should send me? Get one less white guy out of Congress.
Yes. That's what I was thinking. It would make a great ad.
Too many white people that are guys. Send a white woman. That would be funny. We need more humor, don't we?
Less bickering.
Yes. There's too much bickering, and the problem is these white guys that are rich. Thanks, Ron. Maybe he should take his own anti-bullying class, huh? That's for you. Yes. The choir's going to work out today, the civility choir.
Yeah, they are.
Maybe this will help Ron's thought process. We'll continue. KNST AM 790 and now 97.1 FM.